Hello everybody and welcome back to another Microsoft Flight Simulator video. Today we have United 1650 with service to Chicago out of LAX. We're going to be using the 787-9 today. We have 245 passengers going over to Chicago today. We should be moving pretty fast here in the cruise. We have a positive wind component, so that's nice. And we're going to be going all the way up to 41,000 feet today. Now, going into Chicago, the weather is looking kind of funky. As I look outside my window right now, I don't see much going on, but that could change within the next 4 hours. We could have some low visibility issues. According to this weather that I'm looking at, we have a cloud ceiling of 25,000 with few scattered at 11,000, and we got a few scattered at 4,500 feet. So we'll see whatever happens when we get into Illinois. But for the most part, we are almost set up here. There's not much we need to do when it comes to setting up for our flights. We just have to switch over a few more things on the overhead panel and complete our performance initialization. So let's hop into the flight deck at a 787 and finish setting up for our flight. Alright, so we are here in the cockpit of the 787-9, and we have a few more things on the overhead panel that needs to get set up. We can go nav lights on, logo lights on, and I think that's pretty much it for the most part. We are fully fueled up, so we can go seatbelt signs on, and that looks good for right now. I don't want to run the fuel pumps right. Well, yeah, we can run the fuel pumps. Not now. Let's just get the performance out the way. And let's get this information set up in here. So hold on. So we're going to be taking off from 24 left out of LAX today. Road conditions are dry. Flat config is going to be optimum. No anti-ice on the way out. Thrust rating is going to be optimum as well. And let's get the weather for Los Angeles. And we're going to take note of some of this stuff here. So we got winds out of O'Hare 259 at 8. Visibility 8. Sky condition clear. Temperature 19. Dew point 10. Altimeter 30.01. And that's all we need from there. So we can set the altimeter. And we can set it on the standby as well. That's good there. And let's just insert this stuff. Copy FMC data. And winds are 259 at 8. Outside air temperature of 19. And that looks good there. I believe we are now set for calculation. And it gave us our numbers there. We can send the output to the FMC. And let me just clear this message over here. Alright, we can accept that takeoff data. We can insert our center of gravity at 19. And now we have an FMC pre-flight complete. We have a trim of 7, so we can set that. There we go. Trim is set. And at this point, we can go auto on everybody up here. Anti-ice auto. Fuel pumps can now come on. We have no fuel in the center, so we don't need center pumps today. Packs are on over here. And everything looks good. Yep, everything looks good there. I need to give a call to the flight attendants here and see what they're up to. And I think we should be good to go here. A few more things that we need to do is to set our information really fast. I'm looking for that runway heading there. I might have to get it from an outside source. But we can set our V2 speed of 155. VNAV and LNAV can come on. Oh, flight directors and then LNAV. There we go. I'm trying to get runway heading here. I'm going to find the runway heading for 24 right or 24 left. And we're going to get a call to the flight attendants, and we should be good to go here.
Welcome aboard this United flight. United is a proud member of the Star Alliance network. Please make sure all carry-on items are securely stowed either under the seat in front of you or in an overhead compartment. Customers in United Global First and United Business First must stow all items in an overhead or side storage compartment.
Alright guys, so we are pretty much good to go here. I believe we are now ready for pushback and start. The flight attendants are ready back there. Let's just go through our checklist up here. Pre-flight checklist. Parking brakes are set. Battery switch is on. APU generators are, well, now that stuff is going to be on. Yeah, let's skip down here. Before start checklist. Seatbelt signs on. Fuel quantity has been checked. Engine throttles are set to idle. Engine area should be clear now. Auto brake is RTO. Yaw damper should be on. Up here. It should be up here somewhere. For the most part, I know everything's on. Fly-by-wire setting has been checked. Hydraulic pumps are on. C1 and... Wait. Should I set them on? Or auto? AC packs 1 and 2 are on. Equipment cooling on. Fuel pumps are now on. And we do have the startup clearance and all that stuff good to go. APU master switch is on. APU gens are on. Engine EEC modes on. And at this point we are good to go for engine start. So let's get us pushed back here. Once we are completely pushed back from the gate, we are going to get both the engines started. So I will see you guys just after pushback. Alright guys, so we have been completely pushed back from our gate and we are now ready to go for engine start. I just need to perform our engine start procedures and we'll be able to get both of these engines started. So at this point I am now going to complete the engine start sequence.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us on United Flight. We'd like to welcome back our Mileage Plus members who are earning or using award miles on this flight. On today's flight, we have 3 flight attendants. You can look for the language bar worn on their uniforms. At this time, we ask that you direct your attention to the following important safety presentation. Thank you.
Welcome aboard. Before we depart, please remove the safety card from the seat pocket in front of you and follow along as we demonstrate the safety features of this Airbus A320 airplane. We appreciate your complete attention to this important safety information.
If you're seated in an exit row, you may be required to assist the crew in an emergency. If you're unable to perform the functions described on the safety card, please advise a flight attendant for reseating at the end of this video.
To fasten your seatbelt low and tight across your lap, insert the metal fitting into the buckle. Tighten the belt by pulling on.
Exit is marked with a sign overhead. The main doors open by moving the large handle in the direction of the arrow. Open the overwing exits by removing the cover and pulling down on the marked handle. Be sure to jump into the slide with your legs in front of you. When you're on the ground, move away from the airplane. In the event of a water landing, main door slides can be detached from the airplane and used for supplemental flotation. Overwing exits should not be used in a water landing unless directed by a crew member.
Look around to locate the 2 exits nearest your seat. In some cases, your nearest usable exit may be behind you.
In an evacuation, exit path lights will illuminate to guide you to an exit.
A life vest equipped with a water-activated light is located under or near your seat. It can be identified by a red tab. Do not remove it unless directed by a flight attendant. If needed, pull the red tab to remove the vest. Tear open the pouch, remove and unfold the vest. To secure the vest, slip it over your head. Pull the straps from the back and attach the hooks to the ring in front. Pull the waist straps away from you until they are tight around your waist. In an emergency, exit the airplane and only then inflate the vest by pulling down sharply on one of the red tabs.
Alright guys, we have 2 good engine starts there. Flaps are set. The flight controls have been tested. APU master knob and APU gens can come off. And external power, if it's on, it can come off. So no APU gens, and APU can go off now. And we should get an APU cool down here. There's the APU cool down. And let's get our before taxi checklist. Parking brake is going to be as required for right now. Fuel quantity has been checked. We're still looking good on the fuel there. And taxi lights can now come on. And nav lights are on. Instrument displays have been checked. We can go back to ND there. And that looks good. Taxi clearance has been requested. Flight directors are on. And parking brakes are still going to be as required. Before taxi and taxi checklist complete. And we are now good to taxi to 24 left. So we're going to release the parking brake. And we're just going to give her a little power. I am shooting for a 11 a.m. departure here out of Los Angeles. That should give us a almost 1 p.m. arrival into Chicago. And I think the local time right now should be 10:52 a.m. So we are moving along and we're still looking good here, guys. Alright guys, we are holding here at the line for 24 left. At this point we can go all lights on. Hoods can come down. And wing light can come on. Let's release the parking brake. And spool her up again. A little bit more power there. All right. So we're going to get lined up here at 24 left. I'm going to get the checklist completed, and I'm also going to activate flight recorder, and then we'll be good to go here, guys. All right, guys, we are now good to go here for 24 left. Let's release the parking brake. We're going to spool her up. And we're going to hit toga. And it's all business time from here, guys. A little forward pressure. There we go. Rotate. Positive rate of climb, gear up. And I'm gonna go autopilot from here, guys, and I'm just gonna let the plane figure itself out. Alright, guys, so we have now turned around towards our flight plan. I didn't want to manually fly us back or fly us over here because I do have a bug to where it wants to stall me if I try to do any sort of vectoring. So I just let the plane figure itself out, and we're looking good here out of LAX. Alright, guys, as we're crawling through 10,000 here, we can go lights off. Alright, guys, we are going to be cleared up to our to 360, and we're just going to continue climbing. We're going to be climbing through 18,000 here pretty soon with 1,000 to go, and we're going to set our pressure to standard. And everything is looking pretty good here. We can chime the cabin, and we can go seatbelt signs off.
They and Mileage Plus members will receive valuable miles for today's flight. To become a member, you can enroll online at united.com. The captain has asked the flight attendants to remain seated for just a few more moments. Even though you see us getting up to do our duties, we ask that you remain seated with your seatbelt fastened. When Captain Karski turns off the sign, that will be indication it is safe to move about the cabin. If you're traveling with a small child or infant and the seatbelt sign goes on, they either have to be in their own seat with their seatbelt fastened or held securely on your lap. Please take care when opening overhead compartments, as contents may have shifted during our takeoff. And when seated, always keep your seatbelt fastened. You may now use all approved personal electronic devices. As soon as it is safe for the flight attendants to be up, in all cabins we'll be offering you a beverage service followed by a hot lunch. Our beverage selection is listed in the Hemispheres magazine. In United Economy cabin, beer and wine are complimentary, but there is a charge for other types of alcohol. The only accepted form of payment is a credit card.
Alright guys, we have finally leveled off at our cruising altitude for today. We were going to be climbing up to 41,000 feet, but looking over at the FMC, our optimum is going to be roughly 40,000. So we're going to be chilling here at 40,000 feet all the way until we get to Illinois. We should be here for the next 3 hours or so and some change. On the way to Chicago, so sit back and enjoy the flight, guys. Alright guys, we are still here at 48,000 feet. We are almost approaching the Kansas-Missouri border here, and this is going to be a good time to brief our approach into Chicago. So we're going to be expecting the Binky 6 the Binky 6 arrival into Chicago today. We're gonna be flaps 30 with 143 on our VREF. I got auto brake 3 selected for our landing today. I have no way of calculating the performance here for the 787, so I'm just gonna put my trust in auto brakes 3, and we're gonna use the reversers. Hopefully I can get that to work on the way in, and I think we'll be good to go. So we have the ILS for runway 27 center selected and ready to go in there. We have the baro set at 853, and we should be landing with 24 tons on the fuel there. So we're probably going to be a little heavy, maybe, coming in. But I think all is well there, and we'll be landing here shortly, guys. Alright guys, we are a little bit of ways away from our top of descent. It is coming up shortly here, but I do have the range blown up here a little bit. So we're probably a little bit over 40 nautical miles away from our, well over 80 nautical miles away from our top of descent. But I think we are good with the early descent here. So we're going to start descending for flight level 240 at this time. We're not going to put the seatbelt signs on just yet unless the wind gets crazy going down, but at this time we are good for descent.
And with the sound of those double chimes, our flight's be coming to an end. Please prepare for landing. Make sure your seatbelt is securely fastened about you. Your tray table and seat back are in the upright and locked position. All video screens, head and footrests need to be stowed at this time. For those of you in Polaris First and Polaris Business, please press and hold your green airplane button on your control panel to bring your seat to its proper landing position. Also in Polaris First, secure your shoulder strap after fastening your seatbelt. All large personal electronic devices such as laptops must be turned off and be put away. You may continue to use your small, lightweight electronic devices, but these must be unplugged, switched to airplane mode, and secured. Please have a look around the airplane to refresh your memory of the location of your nearest emergency exits, keeping in mind your closest one may be behind you. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival and be seated in your jump seats. We'll be on the ground shortly.
Alright guys, we're gonna go down 2,000 more to 220. All right, guys. As we are passing through the forward waypoint here, we can descend further to flight level 200. And then I'm probably going to wind up bringing the speed back here shortly myself. And we're going to slow everything down to 250 here pretty soon. But we're just going to keep descending. Everything looks fine. Alright guys, we're going to start descending further to flight level 12,000, and we can get the altimeter set up here. I believe we're 30.12 here on the altimeter. So I'm going to wait till we pass through 18,000 there, and we can get that set. We probably can get some vertical speed in here as well. We're 474 miles across the ground. The calculator won't open up here. 462 times 5, we can get 2,300 feet in here per minute. And we're just going to keep descending. We're going to wind the speed back to 250 as well. Or no, we can keep it high here just so we can start descending. We can utilize some speed brakes here. And then once we reach 12,000, we're going to re-engage VNAV there. Alright guys, I got us going down to 5,000 here. We could open the speed window back up. It's probably going to take us out of VNAV, which is fine. And we're just going to set that speed to 250. And if we have a look at the waypoint here, we can actually go down to 220. It wants us to extend some speed brakes here, so let's do that. And while we're here, we can get flaps 1. And we can slow down to flaps 1 speed. We can arm the speed brake again. We can go down to 4,000. We can go flaps 5. We can slow down to flaps 5 speed as well. And let's get some lights on here too. Alright guys, we are now going to start descending a little further to our glide slope altitude of 2,200. And as we're wrapping around there, we're going to arm the approach as well. We can go down to flaps 20 guys. And we can slow down to flaps 20 speed. At this time we have gear down, we have flaps 30 set, we're on our VREF speed, and I believe everything looks good here. Alright, we have approach mode armed. We are at 2,200 feet. We are on VREF speed. Gear is down. Flaps are set. And I'm just waiting on the autopilot to start bringing us down here via the glide slope. and it looks like it's doing that. But for the most part, I think we're okay. Okay, yep, so we got radar contact with the glide slope, and we have localizer. I'm just going to let the autopilot do its work. We have minimum visibility. There's 1,000. We're probably going to follow, I can see the ground now, so we don't have to worry about that. We should be good to continue at minimus. And I wish us luck here. Alright guys, I got my hands on the yoke there, and I am prepared to I'm prepared to let the auto throttles go, but we're just gonna let the plane land itself for the most part. Continue. Autopilot off.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
We're gonna go nose down, and we're gonna get some reversers in there. And we can stow them. Alright, as we're rolling down the taxiway here over to the gate, we can start cleaning up everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be taxiing for the next few minutes, so please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened and all items stowed until the seatbelt sign is turned off. Please make sure you have all of your personal belongings before you exit the aircraft, and be careful when opening overhead compartments. You are now free to use your mobile phones and small lightweight devices. On behalf of United, our Star Alliance partners, and your entire flight crew, thank you for flying the friendly skies with us today. We hope you've had a pleasant experience, and we look forward to welcoming you again on another United flight.
Alright guys, we are here parked at our gate for today. We still do have our engines running, but we can get the taxi light off, strobe light can come off, all lights can come off, seatbelt signs can come on, and at this point we can get everything shut down here. Alright guys, and that is gonna do it for today's flight. It was an interesting landing there. Of course the landings are always interesting. But we did pretty good. We're back here on the ground, safe, and I will see you guys on the next one. In regards to the next flight that we probably do, we're probably going to be leaving here and going to Tokyo using the 777. So stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.